What do you get when you try and LARP a Tumblr story? Jussie Smollett, apparently. Hey guys, Patrick here, and today we are going to be talking about Jussie Smollett and his whole case from the beginning to where we are right now. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because, even though Jussie Smollett maybe isn't a lolcow by the technical definition, he's still cringe, and I really, really like just talking about cringe because I am a bit of a cringe lord myself. So, let's start from the beginning. Now, we start. Oh God, how many years ago was it now? Jesus Christ, I cannot remember. But anyway, way back, in case you were living under a rock, Jussie Smollett was an actor on a show called Empire. Personally, never seen it, but, so I can't really comment on it, like, what the show is like or his role in it or whatever. But he was an actor on this TV show. And he decided to get mass public appeal on himself by faking a hate crime, Because why not? He said that he was out at 3 a.m. in the middle of Chicago in the freezing snow. I forget exactly what the temperature was, but I think it was sub-zero. Because he said that he was hungry and needed some Subway sandwiches, which, by the way, I don't live in Chicago. I don't know. Are Subways even open at 3 a.m.? I don't know. But he said that he was out there getting some Subway sandwiches when he heard someone called him the N-word and the F-slur from behind. He turns around and finds two white men wearing MAGA hats, coincidentally walking behind him down the street. And even though they are racist and homophobic, they somehow recognize him. Even though he'd probably be entirely off their radar if that were the case. But they recognize him, like he's so famous that even people outside of his demographic know who he is, right? And they coincidentally just so happen to be carrying a container of bleach and a pre-made noose. What a coincidence. It was really lucky that they had ran into him. Or else, what if they were trolling the streets and they just didn't find a black guy to lynch that day? That just would have been embarrassing. But so they wrapped the noose around his neck and covered his face in bleach. But what they didn't expect was that Jussie Smollett was actually like a karate master or some shit, because he beat them both up and they ran off after a scuffle, right? He then goes home, tells his friend that he's staying with about the whole situation. They call the police, and when the police get there, however long later, Jussie Smollett is still covered in bleach and still wearing the noose around his neck. He refused to wash the bleach off or take the noose off. He just thought that, those were nice fashion accessories, I guess. So the cops take his statement, and an investigation is underway. And within a very short amount of time afterwards, they are already looking at him as the prime suspect. And wouldn't you know it, turned out to be right. Right. Because turns out that the two MAGA hat-wearing white supremacists were not white at all. They were actually two Nigerian brothers who knew Jussie very well. One of them was actually employed by him as his personal trainer. And they were confronted with this information, and they were like, oh yeah, Jussie paid us to do this to him. And Jussie was like, oh, they were lying. And then he got sent to court. I'm skimming over a bunch of stuff, right? I'm trying to hit the highlights, right? So, goes to court. And his lawyers had some interesting defenses, because one of his lawyers was confronted with, well, Jussie said that his attackers were white. And the two people who attacked him are definitely not. How do you explain that? And his lawyer said, oh, well, they could have been wearing whiteface. In fact, if you look at their Instagram, there's a famous picture of them wearing Joker makeup. So I guess they were dressed as the Joker, when they attacked Jussie, based. um, and I guess Jussie is so stupid that when he saw white face paint, he mistook that for two Caucasian men. Oh God. Another highlight from when the trial was actually happening was one of Jussie's lawyers actually had a mid-courtroom freakout, had a spaz attack, cried like a child, and then had to literally call her mom to give her a ride home from the courthouse, and then the next day tried to say that the judge assaulted her. Oh man, this court proceedings was hilarious. I'm not gonna lie, it was hysterical, right? Well, Jussie was recently found guilty, and I guess not wanting to be outdone by his own lawyers, he decided to have a public courtroom freakout of his own. So let's listen to it now.
Okay. I am not suicidal. Okay. I am not suicidal. I am innocent, and I am not suicidal. If I did this, then it means that I stuck my fist in the fears of Black Americans in this country for over 400 years, and the fears of the LGBTQ community. Your Honor, I respect you, and I respect the jury, but I did not do this, and I am not suicidal. And if anything happens to me when I go in there, I did not do it to myself, and you must all know that. I respect you, Your Honor. I respect your decision. Jail time. I am not suicidal.
Okay. Mr. Uche, let me inquire, are there any post-sentencing motions you care to present? Court is adjourned.
I am not suicidal. I am not suicidal. And I am innocent. I could have said that I was guilty a long time ago.
Oh boy. I may not be a judge, but I find you guilty of being incredibly cringe. Oh man. Jesus Christ. A couple of things to note there. Obviously, when he is saying, I am not suicidal, he is alluding to Jeffrey Epstein. He's alluding to Jeffrey Epstein and how Jeffrey Epstein, like, quote unquote, committed suicide in prison. Like, obviously, we all know that didn't happen. But, you know, he's making the illusion, he's trying to create the narrative that, I am not suicidal, so if I wind up killing myself in prison, it's the government doing it, like they did with Jeffrey Epstein. That's obviously the, what he's kind of alluding to, which is just fucking hilarious, because, like, bro, you are not important enough for the government to assassinate you. Oh my god. Another thing I want to comment on, two more things I want to say. One is that when he said, like, if I had faked this, it means that I stuck my fist in the 400 years of the oppression that Black Americans have faced. Yeah, you did do that. That's, like, literally exactly what you did. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of when O.J. Simpson wrote a book called If I Did It. This is his O.J. moment. Like, if I had done this, it means that I was a terrible person, but I didn't do this. And it's like, come on, man. Seriously. Lastly, I love the little moment he has when he says, Your Honor, I respect you. But, like, there's a point specifically when he says jail time. The point when he says jail time, when he's like, Honor, I respect you. Jail time, he looks fucking pissed. Like, ripping pissed. Like, aggravated as fuck. I just love, like, how even during his little bullshit spiel, he couldn't, like, keep a straight face, you know what I mean? Like, Your Honor, I respect you, but I did not do this. Oh my god. And the reason why I'm talking about this right now, this whole situation, right, is because not only is it incredibly cringe and funny, I think we can all agree, about that. No matter like what side of the political aisle you fall on, we can all agree that this is cringe and funny. I think I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna put on my theory crafting hat, and I'm just gonna say this in my complete honest opinion. I legitimately think that Jussie Smollett is going to try and kill himself in prison. I think that he is such a fucking narcissist. Just the fact that he has despite all the evidence that's come out, he is continuously, shamelessly, lied about not doing this. Anybody with two eyes could see that he absolutely did this, and he is just all the proof is out for everyone to see, and he is still denying it, still saying he didn't do it, just because he's a fucking narcissist, and I genuinely believe that he is so fucking narcissistic. I actually think that he might kill himself in prison and then leave a suicide note, quote unquote, hidden in his jail cell, where he's basically they're coming for me. I know they're gonna be here eventually, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I don't know what it'll say, but I think he'll legitimately kill himself and then leave a suicide note poorly hidden. Hidden enough that you could make the argument that it was hidden, but, not hidden enough that it's not easy to find in an investigation. Where basically he tries to vindicate himself, right? And the only reason I say that is just because of his whole narcissism and just how many times he shouted, "I'm not suicidal." I think that he is such a raging narcissist that this might be a legitimate possibility. That's all theory crafting. That's just in my head. But honestly, aside from just being a cringe lord, I can't see why else he would have yelled that. I think that this is the setup. I think that this is sort of the part two to his fake hate crime, the same way that he had the two brothers legitimately dress in MAGA hats and Carrie legitimately noose him and punch him in the face and cover him in bleach. I think that he's sort of planting the seeds for this narrative, and trying to have this set up. Could I be wrong? Entirely possible. I could just be a fucking moron. But also, I don't know. I kind of just want to get this out there because I have a sneaking suspicion that might be the case. But that's just been my thoughts on this whole situation, guys. Please let me know what you think about it down in the comments. I'm Patrick, and I'll see you next time.